Casey Phillips here, Director of Evangelization for the Cathedral, here with an Alpha story. So we're here today with Jacob Wachal, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his story. So Jacob, thanks for agreeing to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Casey. I appreciate it.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself before we start?
Sure. So Casey introduced me there. My name is Jacob Wachal. I am currently a member of the parish of the Cathedral of Christ the King. I guess you could say I've been technically a lifelong member because I was born and raised in Lexington. I was actually baptized there. Although I was catechized at another parish in town, Pax Christi, moved away for a few years to go to graduate school in Savannah, Georgia. And once I moved back into Lexington about a year ago, popped back in to see what was happening at the cathedral and ended up sticking around. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
So what made you curious about Alpha then?
So, I had kind of fallen away from the faith for a fairly considerable amount of time, I guess you could say maybe shortly after I was confirmed to maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Um, I had never kind of renounced my faith or anything. And all that changed a few years ago because of a few important relationships in my life. One with my girlfriend, who is very strong in her faith. And also, I have my grandparents to thank a lot. When I moved down to Savannah for graduate school, they had me coming up to their house weekly for Mass and dinner. And yeah, it's just kind of really a turning point in my life. Got me going back to church, got me going back to confession, kind of renewed my relationship with Jesus. Also started developing a prayer life and things like that. And it just so happened the first Mass that I caught at Christ the King when I moved back to Lexington, they were plugging Alpha. And, it was at a point in my life where I was also kind of praying for some of my family members. I have a brother and some cousins my age, and I just wanted to share the love of Jesus with them. And after I heard, I didn't really know much about the program, but I heard one, there was a free meal, so that was pretty enticing. Two,
This is like the grandparents. The grandparents had the meal and the Mass. The
exactly.
same model that works. Okay, all right.
Yeah, there's a pattern there for sure. So, I stuck around, I listened, and they were saying, this is something that is pretty open to anybody. And also feel free to invite a friend or two if you'd like. So it piqued my interest, and I reached out to my brother and my cousin and my girlfriend, and had a few people come along with me. So yeah, it was really a great way for me to kind of reintroduce Christianity and Catholicism to my family members who all kind of have similar stories as me. Were raised in the Catholic Church but kind of fell away for various reasons. And yeah, Alpha seemed like a great way to kind of open the door and start having those conversations. And so we jumped right in, and the rest is history, I guess.
I wonder, as you reflect back on it, what was your experience like, and what do you feel like the impact of having done Alpha with your cousins, your family?
Yeah, it was really incredible. And I would recommend it to anybody, regardless of whether or not you kind of have somebody in mind to bring with you. Just if you're curious about some of the kind of broader questions. But yeah, I'm looking back on it, it was just really an incredible experience. Even though I had kind of been renewed in my faith and been back in the church for a year or two by the time that I was in, I didn't necessarily have a lot of ways to kind of be active in my faith and live my faith. And so this was kind of like the first step for me in feeling more comfortable sharing my faith with others. So, there were weeks that my family members didn't go with me or whatever, and I was at a table with a bunch of complete strangers, and the environment that Alpha fostered was just really open and really welcoming. And I had kind of, I was in art school for a few years, and I was with some friends who were very open about many things, but faith wasn't necessarily something that we sat and talked about frequently. So just having this kind of open forum to hear people from all different backgrounds expressing, their thoughts and opinions was just really incredible. The free meals, again, helped a lot for us. But yeah, super kind of invaluable to me. And I'm so glad that I was doing it. And this will be my third time coming back to these sessions. Just trying to bring as many friends and family members as I can, and also just continue to kind of build this community or be a part of this community that Alpha fosters.